Hello everyone, this is a body review of the MSD Doll Wish from Doll Leaves, and he is roughly 42 centimeters and can wear eyes from 12 to 14 millimeters. He comes with acrylic eyes that are hollow, and those don't really look so good and they're really pointy, so I replaced them with glass eyes of 14 millimeters, though 12 millimeter glass eyes would probably look pretty awesome as well. He's wearing a Doll Zone wig and has a temporary face-up by me, which this is like my second or my third face-up attempt on him, so I'm eventually gonna redo it in a more permanent way. So I'm just gonna take a look quickly at his entire body, say something about the resin feel, and so yeah, let's just get right to it. Okay, so let's start with his head. This is his head. And on the back side of his head you can see the Doll Leaves logo, and you can see that he has this tiny gap between his actual head and the head cap. So like this. Looks a bit funny. You don't see it of course if he wears a wig, but it is a bit bothersome, and I just want to show you why it bothered me, because before I got him I got this head for face-up practice. Never mind the face-up. And it is absolutely smooth. Like if you touch, you cannot feel where it changes from head to head cap. So this was just amazing. This is a Doll Family A head, if I'm not mistaken, for MSD size. So this was just incredible. And in his case, that's just not how it is, but that's okay. It's not a big issue. His head cap comes off easily, but also stays very well. So I'd never had it flying off or anything. You can see the two magnets inside, and there's the number in his head cap. Here is the S-hook. The eye putty is from, I think, Uhu, or something like, or Prit or something. It's a German brand. So it's actually easy to get here. Alternatively, you can use Faber-Castell, I think they also make eye putty, or whatever other company you prefer. So it's very like clean, well managed on the inside. You can get out the eyes easily, and if you want to remove his head for a face-up or something, all you do is pull the S-hook out, rotate it, and let it slide through. It's not going to fall through the whole body because his neck is made in a way that it will stop the S-hook from falling through. At least that's what he did with me, which was fortunate. So here again, he has a very neutral face, I'd say. You don't... I mean, you could be a girl, I guess. It doesn't really matter what you use the head for. So, let's move on. I'll just put him down for a second to talk about the resin. Okay, so you might see his feet are a little bit darker because I already completely body blushed him and then I removed everything because it was not a job well done. It was quite a mess and it was my fault. He has extremely smooth resin. He is my first complete doll, so I was really amazed. He has no seam line, at least none that I can see. So he must have been sanded already. Either way, no seam lines, which is awesome. And he has a 3-part torso. So when you check, this is the upper part. This is him from the back. So he can slouch forward this much, but he tends to flop back if you push, sometimes all on his own. This is the front. So, the other part is moving. He can't go back very much. It's really not a giant amount of movement. I just like that you don't see a gap here. It's just really well made. If you push it out, there's more resin. So, he can... he's a bit difficult to handle. He can go forward, but he will probably flop back most of the times. So, but flops back. And he can go back, also not too much, but this is not such a big issue because he has this lower torso joint. So you can see he has this notch, and on the on the inside he has those tiny things. So you can click him backwards. I think actually, no, that's about it. Middle, front, and then side to side. Okay, I'm not sure I mentioned this, but his resin is not shiny at all. It's really matte. So I like that as well, because I really don't appreciate shininess in the resin. So he has mobility joints, I think they're called. So this is just simple ball and socket, and this is his mobility joint. So he can do pretty much anything. Like, you can make him, it's a bit tricky to handle. It's a bit difficult to pull on it. You can do stuff like this. Okay, so, and I'm not really doing anything, just holding his leg, like this. He can hold it no problem. He generally poses very well. He stands like a rock out of the box. He got a bit more floppy or kicky, but otherwise he was strung really well. And I think I twisted his arm a few times, which kind of messed up the threads a bit. Oh, yeah, while we're at it, let me show you how he stands. This is pretty much him, standing. And next part is the knee. I really like those knees. They're quite often in MSD size dolls, but I think not all that often in SD size, which is a pity, because I prefer them a lot to those that are just having that peanut without anything that remotely looks like a knee when bent. So when you bend him, this is the first, and then usually it comes out automatically, you don't even have to touch it. So he has really thick resin. There is no, it's not fragile at all. It's really solid and stable, which is great. And I'm not really afraid to chip off anything. So this is how far he goes. He can actually sit on his legs, no problem. So that's him sitting from the front. I really like how the knees look, so that's just great. Works perfectly. So we're going kind of backwards and forwards onto his feet. They have a separate ball, so you have the feet attached via this ball, but you also have them attached to the foot part, so the ball socket is kind of separate, which gives them pretty decent motion. All the way down, pretty much human range, I'd say, and this far up, which is absolutely great. His feet are not super detailed, but I'd say just okay. There isn't much going on the back side of the feet, like this. And yeah, he can also go sideways, pretty much actually, and not as much inside, but good enough. And he stands really, really well. So let's move on to the arms. Put those knee backs. The only thing that is an issue sometimes, if you want to, like, not just stand him up, but if you want to do something more tricky with his poses, then usually this one here and the upper one tend to go a bit crazy. Not all the time, but happens. So his head motion, he can go side, like this, or to the other side, but he will usually kind of flop. Like, you have to mess a bit with him so he goes equally to both sides. Pretty decent. And he can go back quite a bit. That's as far as he goes. He can hold all the stuff in between, no problem. No problem at all. And, oops, okay, that's me pushing off the head cap. And he can also go all the way down. Also pretty good. And hold anything in between. So, now, he looks great if you body blush him. Sadly, like I said, I did not do a very good job. I can show you some pictures or link some pictures in the description. But I didn't seal the blushing. I just like primed it first, then blushed, and then didn't seal it at all and just wiped it off. So now onto his arms. He has a regular ball socket, nothing fancy, no notches, nothing. Just really simple. So I'll hold him here. As you can see, sideways, you really have to kind of convince him. He's not really holding this himself. So, but like this, he can hold no problem. But everything in between is a bit difficult. And this is pretty much how far up he can go, which is not bad. Or you just rotate him and go all the way up. He has the same joints in his arms that he has on his knees, which is great. And they also just, most of the times, they just flop out. You don't have to do much. He can touch his face easily. He can do some pretty crazy stuff, actually. He can do this, if you are so inclined. He can touch the back of his head. It's easier if he has a wig, then the arm stays in place really easy. You can do stuff like this, or like this. There's a bit of a gap, but if you move this joint, then it goes all the way. And he can do the same with the other arm. So, yep. He really has a great arm movement, so. Apart from those not being able to hold the things in between so well, but I think sueding should help. He's not sueded at all, he's just regular. Okay, so lastly, let's check out his wrists. Same principle as with the feet. Okay. You have an S-hook here. You can pull it out. I think you can swap the hands probably. He has a really good motion range. This way. Not so much this way actually, which I was surprised about. Side. Other side not so much, but yeah. It's really good enough. You can do a lot of stuff with it already. The one thing that bothers me, the only thing I'd say that really does bother me a bit, his hands. That makes no sense. They are like if you check the human hand, this is not how it looks. This finger should be shorter, or at least this should be longer than those outer two. So that's the only thing I did not like, but that's like a really minor thing. We can dust it a lot. We can check his back. You can see this is usually not popped out, by the way. Okay, like this. So awesome sculpt, great price. Absolutely recommend it if you just want to, you know, maybe check it out, or you're not sure yet. So this is absolutely great way to get started, or just check it out. Okay, thanks a bunch, and if you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thanks, bye bye.